Hey guys, in today's video, we'll be going over to the Titans Jupitris guide to see this overall archetype and how, in my opinion, this is arguably one of the best archetypes in the format based on the multiple things it's able to do. So, a brief highlight of what this deck allows you to do is it allows for multiple units with a repair, allowing you to favorably trade into opponent's board while maintaining board advantage, which is pretty good in my opinion. Just being able to just control your opponent and make sure that you always have more units than them, and they always have to deal with your board rather than swinging at your life. This deck also allows you to rest multiple units with a wide array of levels. We'll go over that here in a second, but basically, you can pretty much get up to resting something that's level 7, which is pretty strong. I don't think no other deck can do that in this format. This deck also includes cards that provide AP boost. It can also stun or freeze units. It also has some of these Titan/Jupitris cards also have breach. You can also get additional card draws based on certain effects. And then finally, you can ping rested units. So essentially, this archetype does a multitude of effects, while there's only certain other archetypes that can maybe do one or two of these max. So the existing card pool is all Titan units. Just to highlight a couple of these big ones that we've gotten in GD02 was the Gundam Mark II Titans, which during pair level 3 lower pilot, when destroyed, you may discard one unit card. If you do, return the card paired with this unit to your hand. So essentially, you just keep recycling pilots. The Bilarant, when paired, choose one rested unit with 3 or less HP. It won't be set as active during the start phase of your opponent's next turn. So basically, you're just freezing one unit. The Psycho Gundam MA mode just has Repair 2, which is pretty strong. And then obviously the level 6 cost for Psycho Gundam has Breach. And then also during pair Cyber New Type Pilot, when one of your Titan units destroys an enemy shield area with damage, this unit recovers 2 HP. One thing I'll highlight here before we go any further is all Jupitris cards have Titan trait, but not all Titan traits have Jupitris, which can lead to some kind of wonky plays that you could potentially have with the deck, which we'll go over. And then we had Jared Mesa, who's a level 3 pilot. When you have another Titans unit in play, this gets AP +1. So essentially, it's a 2-1 pilot for Morisame. During link, once per turn. During your turn, when this unit recovers HP, if you have 4 or less cards in your hand, draw 1. And then the base Alexandria, add one of your shields in your hand. Then choose one rested enemy that is level 4 or lower, deal 1 damage to it. So some of the new cards that we're getting in GD03, which kind of sparked my interest in this archetype, was the new Sarah pilot, level 3, cost 1. When link, choose one enemy unit that is level 3 or lower, rest it. That's pretty strong, especially, Amro's HP requirement. This is just a level requirement, so you can pretty much rest anything that's level 3 or lower, which in GD02 was mostly Rick Diaz or Lifrith if you're playing a blockers, which you probably were. And then the new Jupitris base, add one of your shields to your hand. Then if a friendly Jupitris unit is in play, choose one enemy unit that is level 3 or lower, rest it. So essentially, with Sarah on board and the Jupitris base on board, you can essentially rest 2 level 3 units at a time, which is pretty strong once you get this off effect. And then additionally, going back with the Gundam Mark II Titans, this is Titan trade, so it does link with Sarah. If that you can trade into something and then just discard one unit card and then get Sarah right back in your hand and just rinse and repeat that resting 1 level 3 unit. And then this isn't a Titans base, but this colony base is also kind of sparked my interest. 1 per turn. When you pair a pilot that is level 3 or lower with one of your units, choose one enemy unit with 3 or less HP, rest it. So essentially, if you run this and you run 4 copies of Sarah, you could potentially just get 2 rest off in 1 turn. And then again, if you have this Gundam Mark II Titans, you can kind of just get Sarah back to your hand, which is pretty strong in my opinion. And then the other pilots in this Jupitris Titans that we got in GD03 is Sirocco. When link, choose one of your other units. It gains Repair 2 during this turn. Then if it's a Jupitris unit, draw 1. So again, being able to essentially, with the Psycho Gundam, draw 1 when you heal, and then draw 1 if you give a Jupitris unit Repair 2 is pretty strong. You're just always drawing cards. Yazan, I'm not that strong opinion about his attack. Choose one of your Titan units whose level is equal to or lower than this unit. It gets AP +1 during this turn. That could be beneficial, but again, AP +1 compared to Sirocco or Sarah, I don't think it's the same strength. And then there's command card, Recko's Shadow. Main or action, choose one enemy unit with 3 or less HP, rest it. If a friendly Jupitris Link unit is in play, choose 1 to 2 enemy units with 3 or less HP instead. Again, that's pretty strong. Potentially getting 2 rest off in one card is pretty strong, but my main issue with this one is its command pilot only gives 1 AP, no HP boost, and it also doesn't have a burst. And then for the units, this Palace deploy, you may choose 2 Titan units from your trash, exile them from the game. If you do, choose 1 enemy unit that's level 4 or lower, rest it again. Pretty strong. There's a lot of lower units in this deck that you can play in the early game that you won't really need going forward. You can just exile them and just rest something that is level 4 or lower. And then going next, during this next unit is during pair, this unit gains repair 2, which is pretty strong. Just being able to trade into things and potentially staying alive. And it's also Jupiter's trait linked, which is pretty good. And then the Yazan's unit is attack. If you have 2 or more other Titan units in play, choose one enemy unit with 5 or less HP, rest it. Essentially, it does Amro's effect without needing 2 cards to get it going. Essentially, meaning you don't need the unit and the pilot. You can just keep this unit and then next turn attack with it and then press something. And then going forward, this level 6 5 cost, activate main once per turn. Exile 3 Titan cards from your trash. This unit gains Breach 4. Any unit with Breach is pretty strong. I think Breach is still really strong in this game. And then the boss monster, the O, has Repair 3. And then during pair, when one of your other units with Repair attacks, choose one enemy unit whose level is equal to or lower than that unit rested. So this is really strong because if you link this with Sirocco can give something else Repair. So he can essentially give this Bond Dock Repair, and then it can rest a level 6 unit. Albeit it's not Jupitris, so you won't get the draw, but still, I mean, you can rest something that's level 6 and then swing the O into it to trade into it. And then finally, for some reason, Jupiter's Titans also has a blocker with Repair 1 with a 5-4 attack line. Is pretty strong. I mean, you're probably going to trade into most things that you block with. And then just to kind of round it out, these are the other Jupitris or Titan new cards that we got in GD03. There's just some lower level things to kind of help out fill out the curve with a level 3 cost 2 Hyzak custom. When you have 2 or more Titan units in play, this card in your hand gets cost -1, so essentially turns into a level 3 cost 1. And then the Hyzak level 2 cost 2. When you have another Jupitris unit in play, this unit gets AP +1 and Repair 1. This is what I was talking about, where it gets a little wonky sometimes, where one card cares about Titans, the other one cares about Jupitris, but all Jupitris cards are Titans, but not all Titan cards are Jupitris, so it gets a little wonky in that sense. And then the Masala MA mode is just a Repair 1 at level 3 cost 2. So my outlook on the Titans deck is I think a primarily focused Titans Jupitris deck is really strong in this format. I mean, you're just able to rest so many things, and especially if you're playing blockers or any other deck in that case. I mean, you can just control board or just rest blockers and go for shields in life and have them have to swing their blockers or answer your board in some way or other form. Additionally, I think it mixes really well with every other single color. A lot of more earth fed. I mean, you pair some of these pilots with Amro, you're resting more units. It's just kind of crazy, especially with the ping. I mean, red cares a lot about rested units, so you can just essentially rest it, then ping it, and then keep cycling that off. Especially with breach and green as well. I mean, you're able to just rest a unit and then have your Chang Wu Fei under your other units that have breach and just kind of just board control that way, swing at board, breach also into shields and units and stuff like that. And then also, I mean, you're able to pair this with white and play blockers and just kind of really build this huge wall that's always repairing, always drawing cards, especially with white. You have Overflowing Affection, and blue has Show of Resolve and a Healthy Curiosity. That's in GD03. So, I mean, the control in blue white is kind of scary now, but I think I don't know what other support this or as much support this deck will be getting in the future, just given the amount of units it's getting in this set and the kind of strong off the ground running it's doing in GD03. But I think it's if you don't want to just play a solid straight Titans and Jupiter's deck, you can very much just stick to either the Sarah, the Sirocco, and some of those units and just pair it with another color or with the Earth Fed and blue. And I think this deck is going to be really strong. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the popular pick going forward, especially helping you deal with the blocker meta that we've had. You just rest them and get them out of the way. So I'm excited to see what this deck does, and hopefully it does kind of shake up the meta here. It's going to add another silver darling to the mix of blue green aggro, blue white blockers, and then green white blockers, and also blue red. So excited to see what's forward. If you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel, and then also check out my other videos on other archetype deck profiles and guides. Thanks. Have a good day.